Here since 1980. First, I'd like to address Ms. Take's comment. We did have a meeting with TxDOT right after the holidays, and we are working on getting those signs corrected. We're going to bring them out here, drive them through the area, show them what we have, and it should be corrected soon. I'd like to talk about the volunteer fire department. I've been a big supporter of the volunteer fire department going back about 20 years ago. You remember Danby, Ed Mazurek, and I going down there to the bakery, picking up 300 loaves of bread, 100 loaves of hot dogs, hamburger buns. Ed was a great guy. Matter of fact, he even made boxes so that when we picked up the bread would not be crushed. He's a great guy. God bless him. Anyway, I was a great supporter over the years until about, can you hear me? I was a great supporter for about 3 years, until about 3 years ago, when we had this little problem with transparency. We're trying to get some information out of the volunteer fire department about fundraising. I talked to Merriman, I talked to Perez, and got the runaround. We finally got a little bit of information. But let me tell you about the folks that are trying to upset the current situation with Bugle Crew. Let's talk about the past history of that volunteer fire department. You're trying to bring back the good old boy system. In the past 5 or 6 years, we've lost 2 homes and 2 lives. At Crestwind, I was driving around one day on Citizens Patrol, and I talked to the next door neighbor who was there that night at the fire. She said, quote unquote, there was chaos until the fire department from Fort Sam arrived and they finally got things under control. They tried to lay a hose out to a fire hydrant, couldn't even reach the fire hydrant. Plus the fact that we had some indiscretion in the fire chief's office. I think some of you are aware of it. The dorm was a disaster. We had an individual who was the president of the association that lived there for 6 years. That was his permanent residence for 6 years. No leadership. Currently under Chief Whitterman, we have some leadership. He's got control. He's cleaned up the bays. He's cleaned up the dorms. And everything's under standards. As you drive down Mid-Crown, look at the cars that are parked there. The first responders are there now when there's a fire or an incident to respond. Furthermore, during that time period, we had an incident where our fire department did not respond. I also spoke to Colonel Beaver, who had a home on the other side. That
Mayor, time.